Hey, family, welcome back for another episode of the Saturday Sit Down, hosted by your two favorites. Uh, why are you looking like that? You can't let me get the.
Go, go.
Welcome to another episode of the Saturday Sit Down, hosted by your two favorites. Myself, Miss Aaron Bull, host of the Beacon of Truth podcast, as well as my lovely co-host, Miss Lovey, who, welcome back, stranger. Welcome back. Who is also the host of Live, Laugh, and Lovey, the home of the very best episode recaps, which can be found on YouTube and all social media platforms, okay, including popbreak.com.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
So how are you, ma'am? Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm glad you showed back up because people was worried that we was beefing. So you can let them know that it's all good in the hood.
Um, sorry, I'm just changing my light here.
Obviously. There you go.
I'm good. I'm a little tired because I got the itis.
What you eat?
A burger.
Oh, naughty girl.
I ate a burger and it was every bit of deliciousness on the bun. And yeah, when me and Lilia pulled up to my house, I was like, that TikTok video is like, bitch, you doing a good job. You doing a good job, bitch. I was like, bitch, you ain't gonna make it. Bitch, you ain't gonna make it.
Mm.
I'm tired. Hello, Courtney.
But
How are you?
I'm yet whole and all. Actually, no, I am all right. I had some good sleep last night. Got off at a decent time last night. I mean, yesterday. Didn't do nothing. Went to sleep. And when I tell you I slept, girl, I slept. Whew. Yes, and I did a whole lot of nothing today. But before we get all the way into everything, I want to take some time and give a special shout out to my mother for her 67th birthday. Happy 67th birthday to my mother, who is currently at the family reunion in North Carolina. And I just have a quick little 31-second tribute that I would like to play for her birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Yes. Happy birthday to my queen, my mother.
Happy birthday. Was that a pork chop she was eating?
No, that was a steak. And that was actually a steak that I cooked for her
No.
when we
Okay.
had the apartment.
Okay.
But all right, thanks. I had to show some love to my mama.
Random applause, but okay.
Yes, it wasn't random. it went to celebrate her birthday.
Really quick.
But so let's get into this week's conversation. Actually, before that, some updates. Me and V supposed to be working on moving. But y'all know we always talking about Atlanta full. Atlanta is full. It's full.
Is it
So
because of the pandemic?
I'm thinking so, and probably because of the eviction moratoriums, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because
so
most places are like at 90, like 95, between 95 and 100% occupied.
and that's what we're experiencing. A lot of places that we're looking at or talking about, they just have no availability, or they don't know. I mean, or they're like 60 to 90 days out.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know when we'll be moving, but hopefully, fingers crossed, sometime soon.
Okay. Gotcha. Any other updates?
No, ma'am, not at the moment. Not at the moment. So this week we're talking about culture.
Yeah.
Mhm.
6% in your neck of the woods, Courtney? Because it's like 7-8% here in Atlanta.
I forgot you really would know that. Wow.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. So I think I was in the car listening to the radio, and they had brought up the overuse of the word culture. Like, so it's for the culture. Everything is for the culture. It's for the culture. But a lot of times, in my opinion, shall I say, I feel that it's overused and misused, because when something extremely black or something that's considered black, that's on the extreme side, it's okay. It gets a pass because it's for the culture. So what exactly does culture mean?
Okay. Well, you know me. I have the dictionary definition of culture, and then well, I should show it. So from the dictionary, culture is what?
Nothing. Why are you always stopping? Just go.
Because you interrupting.
I
Like
didn't say anything.
sorry. Well, podcast police does not approve.
Oh my God.
So
I'm treated coming back business.
culture
You
is
miss
the
me,
arts
huh?
okay, now you want me to stop or you want me to go? What you want me to do? Culture is the arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. It's also the customs, arts, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social groups.
Okay. I agree with that. Well, I'm just saying. I wasn't expecting that Google pop up. Like, bam.
Well, part of it is that I'm now operating off of one screen. So flipping back and forth from this one monitor is a lot more difficult than just putting it up as an overlay. So I got to step my game up and get my second monitor back.
Okay.
Oh, look at my mother-in-law tuning in from YouTube. Come through. Hey, lady.
Well, hello, Mrs. Willis. Oh, that mean I really got to watch my mouth.
Yeah, you really got to watch your mouth. Yeah, that is my mother-in-law. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
But to your point, though, as far as culture, I just think it's more or less like maybe out of context, because you just can't say for the culture. You have to say for what culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. And people don't usually define it. They're just like, oh, it's for the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I don't do that. I don't do that. So you're not representing me.
Mm-hmm.
Like wearing slides outside. People do it for the culture.
Nah, they do it for the comfort. It's not for the culture.
Smoking weed is for the culture.
I don't know.
I don't do that.
Mm.
So, like, what? I don't get it. Maybe I'm not black enough.
Well, you know, your black card has been put on suspension. Yeah, your black membership is on hold right now. It's under review. Don't do that. Don't do that. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yes. But I mean, so
FYI, I will not be here next week either.
see, I told you. You're gonna be asking for the culture.
Yep. Yep. Sure will. Oh gosh. Go ahead.
No, so what she said keep it moving like she not here.
She won't let me, Mrs. Willis. She will not let me.
Oh, well, you started off. Yeah, with the whole TikTok. Right. But so what we how should we change that? Or how should it be changed? Like, how should it go?
I mean, why can't you just say, why we had to put that out there anyway? It's for the culture. I mean, okay, so Black 365, yes. Speaking of putting it into context, yes, that fits. But people who are not speaking in terms where it's necessarily a positive, like when you speak of, for the culture, you're speaking in forms of, building the community up,
Right.
or it's something that is relative to the African American culture. Because you got white kids saying it's for the culture.
Right. And what I don't like about it when people say, like you said, it's generally some sort of like negative connotation. It's
Mm-hmm.
never, oh, I'm wearing my dashiki for the culture,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm doing a protest or something for the culture or something like that. It's always something kind of hood rat ghetto-ish, something like that, and that's got to be for the culture. But that actually undermines what the real culture of the African American community is.
Mm-hmm.
So like we do have to do better in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
But will we? Because I mean, unfortunately, negativity is popular. That's what it is. I mean, like nobody is but us. Is gonna say, hey, that's kind of like not the move right there. We can't do better.
Right. It's like Charlemagne the God always says, why tell the truth when the lie sounds better?
Right. And it gets more likes and views.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, I might have to go get a lip wax for the culture next week.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. Well,
I'm tired, y'all.
I'm not doing this with you. I'm not about to do this with
I'm
you.
really tired. I'm just like delirious.
Lord have mercy. Give us strength to make it through this episode. Jesus. Ooh, take the wheel and take her chair. Okay.
My chair.
Yes.
Why the chair? What the
Hey,
chair
we
got
roll
to
the
do with
stone
it?
away, roll the chair away. You started it. You started it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But nevertheless, so what would be a more appropriate thing to do? Like, better yet, like, I mean, I think it's used as an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, yeah, it's not the best thing to do, but I'm doing it for the culture. Power fist. Like, no, because all right, here we go. I'm about to get on my platform. I was trying not to do it, but we're gonna do it because this is Black 365. So when you talk about doing things for the culture and you throw up the power fist, what I mean, that it originated as a symbol of strength and unity. You know what I'm saying? That was a greeting within African American community, to say, hey, I'm with you. It's us. You know what I'm saying? That's came from the Black Panther Party era. And for you to throw it up and talk about it's for the culture that you smoking weed, like, no, that's
Mm-hmm.
you have to do better than that. And you are denigrating everything that they stood for. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You are disrespecting the culture when you do that.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
So that's my 2 cents. I'm not gonna
Oh,
preach today.
okay. Could you have that kind of cup on my podcast?
With this cup,
Just a cup instead of a bottle? I'm sorry.
I still have my bottle here. This is my weekly stage prop.
I would prefer a cup versus a bottle. But okay.
Okay, and I would prefer offline conversation.
It was on my brain. It was on my brain. I had to let it go. I won't say that. A little bit older.
You are a lot older. What age group are most of the people that are misusing the term? I think it's lack of education.
No, I don't even think it's a lack of education. It's just them completely ignoring it. I would definitely say millennials as well as Gen Z. Millennials have a little bit of, they understand a little bit of the concept, but Gen Z, they just don't care.
No, they don't care about a lot of things.
And that says a lot about our generation. Like as parents, we have failed. We have failed our children. And
Yeah.
it's sad.
And, I mean, so now we are encountering the children who are, who came up in the age of technology. I mean, when I was coming up, I think me and video games came out at the same time. You know,
Yep.
um,
Yep.
internet technically started in the 80s, technically, but it was really only for businesses, and, it wasn't even in houses yet. We still had the dot matrix, Apple computers, and then, things like that. So
Actually, it
we
started in the 70s. Go ahead.
well, you were there, you would know. But, and now you are dealing with a generation of adults who were raised on more technology than, like, I don't know, like offline parenting. I don't know what else you wanna call it. And I
Mhm.
I don't wanna just put everything on the parent, but also with this age of technology comes, a different level of exposure. Um, and because like we used to use the internet as an actual resource. You know what I'm saying? Um, just like we would use an encyclopedia or anything else. And now it's a lot of stuff and a lot of information, but it's not as accurate. And it's a lot more opinions, blogs, and things like that. Whereas when we were resorting to the internet, you would pull up actual websites, articles, fact-based information versus
Mhm.
like feeling based or emotional based or something like that. Um, and I think I would imagine it has to be a bit more difficult to be a parent in this generation or in this age because, our parents could control what we had access to from what we listened to on the radio. I mean, if and from what we listened to on the radio, what we watched on TV, on if what were we gonna get on the computer, really, besides on a chat room or something like that? Like, yeah, we had MySpace, Black Planet, and AOL. Like, what were we gonna do?
Yeah, but we also had resources that were not at home. So if we went to our friend's house who did have it, like when it came to say like smut,
Mhm,
like dirty stuff, right? Pornos and stuff. I had a friend that lived down the street that had it. It
mhm.
wasn't in my house. Like you was lucky if you happened to be up late and showtime was on, you might see a little frock here and there, a frolic in the
Mm,
sheets or in the
mhm.
grass or whatever.
Right.
But um just like my grandmother didn't curse a lot in the house. Even if when it came to saying MF, she say mofo.
Mhm.
That's why I learned using soft words when I curse. But going down the street or going to school, I was cursing like a sailor.
Mhm.
So it's not, I mean, yeah, we had access to resources as well outside of the home, but I agree we didn't have it at our fingertips as the kids today do. But um I still think that it does, I won't say it solely falls on a parent, but if you set some type of structure in your child's or children's lives to where they would know, kind of like what they call that, is it switch coding,
Code switching.
code switching, when you know how to turn it on and turn it off. Like me, I know how to turn it on and turn it off. You know what I'm saying? Re- you don't agree with that?
I'm sorry to bl carry on.
You don't agree with that?
I mean,
How do you not agree with that? I know how to turn it on and off. But
when do you turn it off?
what
Okay,
side? What
carry on.
side? What side? What side? What side? Because right now you about to get Oakland, okay? I
Okay,
had
fair
to
enough.
I had to deal with my neighbor in the Oakland type way.
Mm,
So,
mm,
but I don't know. It's just like I still feel that it starts at in the home, and if you teach your children to conduct themselves a certain way when they're not around you, then there's just certain things that they won't do or say where they know the difference, and I just feel like it starts at home. I mean, and I can only speak for myself, or even for like my sister too. We were taught, you gonna be outside the house. I'm not gonna be around you all the time. But I was also under the mindset like I don't want this to get back home.
right. Now that
You
part, yeah. Um, I mean, yes, I do think that it starts at home, but to say, when whatever you teach your children, the moral base that you give them, that they won't deviate from that, uh,
No,
because
I'm not
now
saying that.
they will know right from wrong.
Mhm.
They will know right from wrong and just choose wrong anyway. Sometimes,
Mhm. We
again,
all have been victim to it.
yeah. So I mean, but the other thing about it is too is that doing wrong or being disrespectful is kind of way more accepted than it was for us.
Facts.
Now that part, because yeah, you can go out and act a fool, but you ain't finna have no grown folks standing around recording you and hyping you up to be disrespectful.
And see, that's what I don't understand. Like people are, especially folks my age, we came from the same era. We cut from the same cloth. Why is it that you are conforming to the way that these kids are acting today? We were
Right.
just talking about how someone had gone out on a date and the person was like crickets in front of them, weren't talking. So I asked, I was like, well, were they chopping it up? AKA, were they very talkative? Were they chopping it up on through text? Yeah. Where? Where's the level of disconnect? I don't understand. But yeah, I have seen grown folks talking about it's for the culture. What does that
Mm.
mean, sir, ma'am?
All right.
Explain yourself. My people. Mm-hmm.
So what's the
Mm-hmm.
next? Like, what's the move now? I mean, not now, but I mean, is this just gonna be the thing? Is it gonna go away? Is it a phase? Are we ever gonna get back to really focusing on the culture and bringing culture back to what culture is? What it started out to be.
Well, now I would say this would definitely be the opportunity because everything is so pro-black, shall I say,
Mhm.
in light of everything that we've experienced over the past year or more, but especially within the last year. And I think if we take the time to really, like, if you hear someone say it, like, well, what is it? What does that mean for the culture? What exactly? Like, I think if we challenge people a little bit more, not so much like, what that mean?
Yeah.
If you speak to them with dignity and respect, then, you can kind of dispel uh the context of how they're speaking.
Yeah. And I mean, and I think that that kind of goes to, what I was saying about like adults kind of encouraging or allowing the disrespect.
Mhm.
Um, because we when we heard culture, whether it was regarding, our own culture or any other nationality's culture or a person, a group of people's culture, we knew it meant something totally different. You know what I mean? Whether it is just traditional um head wraps and garbs and things like that, that the Native Americans wore, even Africans wore, Indians, Hindu, things like that. That's what culture means to us. But now it's just like it's a joke, you know what I mean? And I don't know if it's just is culture not as sacred as it used to be?
That's what it is. Because think about it. If you're speaking to someone of Middle Eastern descent, and like right now, I'm watching this show called Never Have I Ever on Netflix. Freaking hilarious. But it's about an Indian girl who lives in California. She's of Indian descent, and her mom is like, she has the dialect and the accent and everything, but uh, Devi is Americanized. Um, and in one of the episodes, she got her nose pierced. Now she's 15, but she got her nose pierced, and she was so afraid of what her mother was gonna say. I was like, but that's part of their culture. So I don't understand why she would get so upset. And her mom did get upset because her mother is wound up tight, but is y'all have to go watch this series on Netflix. Never Have I Ever. It's written and produced by Mindy Kaling. If you know her, she's from The Office. She had her own show and everything. Hilarious. But her mom was like, well, I'm glad that you're getting in touch with your culture.
Mm.
So, if someone say like of Middle Eastern descent, if they reference something and they say it's their culture, you automatically know, okay, that's something of their culture, like wearing gold and uh help me out. What's another item of their culture? Is the sari? The sari is part of their garb.
I don't know if that's the terminology for it or not.
I want to say that it is the sari or the red dot.
Mm-hmm.
Things of there. It is like specific,
Mm-hmm.
like with Jewish people. They eat kosher foods, and it's certain things that they do and don't do, and it's very specific. But for us, if you let these young folks tell it, we all over the place. We don't have anything specific other than, well, what do we have? What do we have?
What do we have of African American culture?
That's very specific. What, hair braiding? Hair braiding is one.
You could say that, but at the same time, that's actually African culture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the
Okay, so
issue,
African American.
right? And that's what I was getting ready to say, is that the issue of African American culture is that African Americans are technically kind of like a created people instead of an original people, because we are the descendants of slaves from a whole nother continent. You know what I mean? So there was no foundational culture here. So our culture reaches back to other continents. Um, and I think that the African American culture is just a unique situation in that it is regional. I think that we have more regional customs and traditions and things more than just a general set of circumstances that just pertain to quote unquote African Americans. Just due to, how how our beginnings were, because African Americans are only 400 years old. Not even, no, 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 not 400 years old. African Americans are as old as, maybe, it depends on when the term came about. Because you have to remember, we went from being Africans to descendants of Africa, or African descendants, to slaves, to colored, Negro, and then African American. So what is our culture
I
tied
think
to?
Negro came before colored,
Okay.
because Sharon is older than her husband by like a couple of months. Like, she was born in November, he was born in January.
Right.
And her birth certificate says Negro.
Mm-hmm.
His says colored.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. But it's still, to the point. How can such a new people, obviously people gonna get mad, but We are the original people, yes, but in terms of African American, what is that culture? You know what I mean? Like,
So would you say that when people say for the culture, technically it could be true?
sometimes. But, I mean, it depends on the thing. Like, okay, oh, I'm smoking weed, it's for the culture. That's not an African American thing. In its basis, in its foundation, in its beginning, it's Native American first.
Okay. That
So,
just that just reminded me of this interview. I don't know if you saw it online. What's his name? What's the little roly poly black guy?
Roland Martin.
Olin Martin. Yes.
Same. That's bad. That is bad.
You knew who I was talking about though.
I know that is awful. But go ahead, carry on.
He had a one-on-one sit down with a racist, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was like basically all things white. And Roland was like, yeah, but because his argument was that humans did not originate in no, they're not black. Like black people didn't start off. We didn't start as black, the human race. And so Roland was just like, but we all started in Africa. He was like, you can't go from you have to go watch it. Because Roland will get in somebody's behind real quick and he will break it down. But it was hilarious because the guy was like stuck. I mean, I kind of felt bad for him a little bit because I hate to say it, but sometimes our people, when we are interviewing someone from the opposing side and then we pose a question, we don't allow them to finish their statement when we don't necessarily agree with what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little tough for him to get it out. And he was just like, well, do you want me to answer the question? He's like, yeah, I want you to answer the question. He was like, okay, I'm trying to answer the question. Yeah, you have to go watch that. It was funny, but because of the dynamic between the two of them. And he was trying his hardest. Like all he wanted to say, look here, nickel. Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to say it to one another. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was funny. Oh, sorry, I digress. Go ahead.
No, you're good. But again, so moral of the story is, when you say for the culture, most often it's probably not pertaining to African American culture. Now it may pertain to history or stereotypes. Oh, somebody watched it.
Mm-hmm. You got to go watch it. It's
All right.
hilarious.
It was a recent interview.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it says a white nationalist. They called him a nationalist, aka racist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he was riding hard for 45.
All right. Well,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of go hand in hand these days. But
These
like
days.
I said, that's a good segue into two vax or not two vax. Colored and white signs during segregation.
I don't think I would have been able to have lived in that time. I probably would have been strung up from a tree.
Really?
Yeah, because it's weird, but I know racism is everywhere, but like it really stopped in the South or the like Southwest because growing up, like we weren't taught of any type of like lynching and like all the stuff that you heard about during the segregated, like the 40s to what the late 60s ish. We didn't hear about stuff like that growing up. That wasn't part of the history. Like, and I always thought, like, well, why did it stop there? Like, not saying that I'm condoning it or anything like that, but what was it about the West that people were like, no, we don't get down like that.
Well, the South was the most reluctant to let go of those ways. You know, I mean, it was primarily here. You know, I mean, in the South.
Mhm.
Um, so
Hence, it was a civil war, right? Because they were
Mhm.
fighting. Yeah.
North versus South, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, or the Confederacy versus the Union, but
I hate history, but unfortunately, I knew that part.
well, okay. So to your point, I think that part of it is because you have to remember how, like, the Great Migration and things like that work, which
Hmm.
people left the South to get away from it. So why would they take those stories, you know, and that history with them? You know, I mean, and even though it was still racism
Yeah,
everywhere
absolutely.
else. But I guess just holding on to the history and making sure that the stories were told. Um, that would be a Southern thing because, you know, people would go elsewhere, out west or up north or Midwest or whatever to escape from the situations that was here.
But no, I totally get that. But I'm just wondering, like, it's like nobody would tried it. I'm sure someone had to have tried it. That's how we get down in the West. We all love, baby. We don't do all that.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah. So, yeah, my grandmother was part of that Great Migration.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
you know, I wanted to respond to something you said because I couldn't have been alive during that time because this that. But the thing is, when that situation is all you know what I'm saying, you're not gonna fight against it. Like, we are kind of awoke, I guess, but, you know, we are past that. We are in a different situation now. You know, we still going through some things. We ain't free yet, you know what I mean, but we are freer. And,
Hmm.
you know, we know the difference, and we do have more rights than what they had back then. So,
Hmm.
if all you have is all you know, you're not gonna fight against it.
That's
Like,
true.
because, you know, we're in a generation that has seen better and seen, you know, growth and opportunity and things like that. You're like, "Oh, no, baby, you can do that to me."
Yeah. Okay. Question: why is it that you didn't see people in wheelchairs back in the sick during that time?
Well, to be clear, I mean, to be honest, you know, they were considered as tainted or considered as unclean.
Okay, but you.
No, that's not something that they would have made prominent or made known. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would be the almost like the redheaded stepchild
Mm.
for
So
for the disabled. Now, for the injured, that's different. Or
okay, so my statement holds true. If I lived in that time, I wouldn't have made it. Where's the
well,
lie?
I mean, well, okay, if you want to go factual, you're probably right because did you have your condition at birth?
Mm?
Okay. So you're right because they would have just considered, or, you know, they wouldn't have given you a chance, to be honest. You'd be like, "Oh, she's not gonna make it. Put her in the trash can or the chicken bucket." Yeah, that's the. Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am. They didn't believe in science and things like that. Like, no, you don't overcome infirmities.
So, but okay, so the Special Olympics was in its inception was like in the late 60s or mid 60s, I want to say. Um, so I'm wondering now. I got to do my crypt history. So I'm one. Well, I mean, I get I get what you're saying, and I could definitely see that because there was no definition for a person who had a disability, like, oh, they're special or they're touched or they were the uncle, cousin, brother, sister that was just kept in the back room.
Mhm.
Like, you know, and like I've always said, growing up, because I had a disability, they had a school for children with disabilities, and they just lumped us all together. There was no
No distinction.
no distinction. Like, oh, you got a disability, okay, and you're in this age group. It wasn't like a grading system, like first, second, third, fourth. No, it wasn't. They did it probably based on age. I really don't know. And I probably can't even ask Sharon because Sharon was young. So
Now, did they differentiate between the disabilities? Like, did they have the mentally disabled in with the physically disabled, or?
So there were two schools that were diagonally across from each other, and oddly enough, there was a regular elementary school like in between, right? So it was like a triangle of education, shall you say? And it was called Ralph Bunch, and it was right across the way from the other school that I was at, and that's where all of like the mentally challenged kids went. You know, those that had severe you know, medical conditions, you know, mentally, shall I say. But as far as physical, that was at the school that I was at.
Okay,
And
so
then
they did separate you.
yeah. I don't know how it was determined who would go there, because I have vague memories of the school, but not a whole lot. I wonder if it's still open. But yeah, my mom, she pulled me out. She's like, no, ain't nothing wrong with her. Put in this school up over here.
So they weren't. So, well, I guess you said you were too young, because I was going to ask you what kind of curriculum did they have? Was it a watered down version?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
I honestly don't remember. I just remember seeing a whole bunch of kids in wheelchairs and walkers and
Braces and things.
yeah. That's all I remember. I don't remember anything else. Cause they put me out so young. By the time I got to the other school, I was entering second grade. So I was young.
Okay, got you.
And then that's when they did put me in a class with my teacher. She had polio.
Oh, okay.
And so she walked with a limp. Did she have a small hand too? Like something was going on with her hand. And I remember she used to tell me, Lovey, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. And I was like, okay.
Right, because you was young. You just say, yes, ma'am.
Right. Then where's my snack?
Okay, my juice.
Right.
So you was on the food thing back then too? Been all your life? Oh, okay, my bad. You were saying?
Yes, so that's where I started.
Gotcha.
I'm really looking to see if this school is open.
Girl, bye. We ain't seen that. So, all right. Let's see what we got. Was she a black teacher?
She was Asian.
Oh, okay.
Miss Young. Miss Jan Young.
Oh, wow. Was that her given name, first name? Oh, you don't know. You was young. Never mind. My bad. Okay, sorry. These are adult. Okay. All right.
I always wonder what happened to her. Because she had to have been like a certain age for her to have polio.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we don't have that anymore.
Yeah, well, 50 years ago.
Right, but in 80, what's that? Maybe 80, 81? How old would she have been?
Well, you typing on the computer, you can ask when was the polio vaccine created or delivered.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
feedback.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, is that you?
Okay,
Okay.
so that's my phone. Can't have my phone near my microphone. All right then, excuse me. Disrespectful.
Okay, so the polio vaccine was invented in 1955.
Oh.
So I wonder if she was about my mom's age around that time. She may not have quite been that young, because my mom was what, 20. So she wasn't that old. She may have been like 22.
If she
I don't
was a
think
new teacher, that would make sense. Because, just when a vaccine is rolled out, obviously, as we can see, it takes a minute for it to be adopted nationwide.
maybe she missed it.
Or maybe she missed it or got it too
It could
late.
have, or it could have been a cultural thing.
It could have been that too.
Okay. I wonder where she is. She's still alive. She may not be. Bless her heart. No,
So,
she would only be like. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, while you talking about, the polio vaccine, of course, we still having the two vax or not vaccinate war going on here in 2021. I'm not exactly sure of why. Cause for me, once they had the first variant, I was like, yeah, 2-shot me, please. Let me get a double dose. Thank you.
So, what fraternity or sorority are these variants a part of? We got
What?
Delta, we got Lambda, and I heard that there's a Beta.
Oh, is that the Revenge of the Nerds?
Right. That's the first thing that came to my head when I heard the Lambda.
Yeah, lambda,
I was
lambda.
like,
Man.
what the heck? Yeah. So one of my really, really close friends caught COVID, and they're just getting over it as I cough. And and I said, "Are you vaccinated?" She was like, "No." I was like, "Oh, why you say it like that?" She's like, "I'm not getting that." Okay, but you were violently ill. Why wouldn't you? I mean, if I could get something that's going to prevent that level of sickness, give it to me.
Right. Right. And that's how I looked at it. I was like, okay, yeah, no, I don't want that in my life. And, again, it's bigger than just you. You know what I mean? And, these are just my reasonings. I don't understand. Like, nobody has made a understandable case to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can see that. Like, no. They can make excuses and it's their choice, so you entitled. I don't shun you, because I'm fully vaccinated, so whatever, you catch it if you want to, don't come around here, and don't ask me to bring you no electrolytes or Powerade or something like that. Like, just post some updates on Facebook, let me know how it's going. Prayer emoji. Okay, that's
We're
a
not
little
doing
cold.
that. We're not
That's a
doing
little
that.
cold. That's a little cold. But
You
no,
can't DoorDash them something.
right. It's like, no. DoorDash. No, I don't want to put the DoorDash person at risk. Like,
It's no contact.
no. Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand it. Like, you can't, even as an adult, you can't even enroll in school without your vaccination record.
Right. And to your point, that was my other thing. Like, oh, why they forcing us? Why they forcing us? You're not arguing about your child being forced. We were forced. Okay. And then, oh Lord have mercy. Oh, let me get hold on. Hold up, soapbox. I don't want to get on you right now. Then the argument is about the military. Now, first of all, do you know? Okay. So once upon a time in my previous life, I don't know if all of y'all know, but I attempted to go to the United States Army. Okay. Went to basic training, went to the MEPS, got all of those vaccinations, including the penicillin shot in your behind that you got to walk around for 30 minutes so it don't cramp up. Like, they have a whole battery of shots. Like it's literally like do do do. So they already getting all that. One more, really? You gonna buck about the COVID vaccine? Now the only kind of sliver of understanding I have though is that right now it is approved for emergency use. It is not fully approved. Minor difference, so it's authorized, not approved
By the FDA.
by the FDA.
Mm-hmm.
That's the if you looking for a leg to stand on, that is the cricket leg I can give you to stand on. But when you looking at all these deaths, 99% of the deaths from coronavirus, especially these new variants and the uptick in the numbers, unvaccinated.
Yep.
Unvaccinated. And if you are in that like 0.1% or 1% of vaccinated people that catch it, your symptoms are going to be way, way significantly reduced
Yep.
than if you were unvaccinated.
Mm-hmm. I still don't want it though.
What?
I don't want to catch it at all.
Oh no! I'm not. No, and that's my point. Like I haven't seen, that. Oh, it changes your blood. Oh, it does this. Like where's
They
your
putting a
faith?
chip in you.
Yes. Like first of all, as I create more feedback, you really worried about a chip and you got your whole wallet on your phone. You got your wallet on your phone right now. You paying with your watch. That thing telling you how many steps you taking. Guess what? Who else know how many steps you taking? Where you been? Look at your Google timeline. Talk about they tracking you. Yeah, you letting them track you. You worried about a chip. What they gonna do?
Yeah, there's a comedian, I forgot his name, but oh God, it's Capone, Corey Holcomb, and someone else. It's like four of them, and they were supposed to have done a Breakfast Club interview, and only one showed up. But one of them was just like he didn't want to go because he had to show that he was vaccinated, and he was like, "I'm not going." And he was like, "Well, just take a test." I don't want to take a test. What? Okay, well, clearly you're not trying to move about this country with your comedy act.
Right.
Because in my opinion, this whole situation is annoying with the misinformation that's being relayed. Because we as adults dealt with it, but now the babies are affected.
Right.
And you are sending mixed messages. Come to school with a mask. Oh, no, you don't have to.
Right.
Like, what? Do you not care about these kids at all? I don't understand.
And then that's the other piece of it. I mean, even if you don't really want to take it for yourself, you feel like, oh, you safe, you are already antisocial, you've been social distancing for years, you do everything through Amazon, you shop online, whatever. Okay, cool. But you got children.
Mm-hmm.
You got children. Or you got parents. Because if you're anywhere near my age, then you got young children or old parents. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, Kivo Jordan.
Kivo. What about the ones who have been vaccinated and end up in the hospital with heart problems and more complications? I guess more and more complications. Well, again, fair. But there is some screening. Like, I mean, you can't just you need to know your history.
Right. 'Cause I was just about to
You
say
need to
that
know your medical history.
if you know you have an underlying issue, you need to take better care of yourself and protect yourself. If you know you got high blood pressure, get the vaccine. If you know you got you have a susceptible condition where you could potentially harm yourself with getting this said extreme cold.
Mm-hmm.
Protect yourself. You suffer from kidney failure, diabetes, anything like that. Protect yourself. Or if not, wear your mask.
There's that.
Period. over your nose. I'm so sad. I'm so sick of seeing people with it. Yeah, lupus, like any type of autoimmune disease.
Mhm.
Protect yourself. I don't understand what's the problem.
Yeah, so, but for his comment, I'm gonna put it back up. So it was talking about the ones that have been vaccinated and then they end up in the hospital with heart problems and more complications. So to that, um, you need to have a medical regimen already in place before that. Like you need to know. You know what I'm saying? You should be talking to your doctor. You know what I'm saying? Before you take any vaccine, you need to talk to your doctor. You know what I mean? Because I would have to see the records or proof or whatever to know if they had any type of conditions before, you know what I mean? Or did it strictly come from this vaccine, some sort of interaction with the vaccine that caused these issues? Because
Yeah.
as of right now, I don't know. I can't speak intelligently to that. But I mean, if I had a primary care doctor, I would or concerns, period, I wouldn't it always says consult your doctor prior to
Yeah.
whatever, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Even if you take the little pill or whatever on the 1-800, what they call it, the infomercials and stuff, so what? I'm not fooling with you. My primary care physician has been monitoring me since my second dose because I have high blood pressure.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I mean, and you have to really like follow the regimen. You know what I mean? Don't just go get a shot and not follow up. Like, go see your primary care. Like, hey, I got the vaccine. Just check me out, doc. Make sure I'm, good.
Make sure it's not having any type of adverse effect. If it's not counteracting with my normal everyday medication, all of that. Yeah, of
Mhm.
course, but still know where you are
Yeah.
before and after the vaccine. But do everything that you can to protect yourself. Like you got high blood pressure, you ain't gonna eat a mountain of salt. You're
Right.
not gonna have a whole lot of stress in your life. You know what works and what doesn't work.
And that's all the more like, if I had high blood pressure, that I would be first to get the vaccine as soon as they said I could, 'cause, that's stressing me running around here worrying about the possibility of getting the coronavirus or passing it to my loved one.
Oh, wait. So this past week, I had participated in a focus group, right? And
Mhm.
it was on cream of chicken soup. So growing up, I didn't eat that. I wasn't served soup from a can. I had homemade soup, right? What's that look for?
Never carry on. Yeah, see, I just wanted to do something that you were doing the whole time. Like, it's hard to focus when somebody's doing that, but carry on.
Whatever.
Carry with
So
the bouginess and never having soup from a can. Yes, tell the peasants about, your experience. High on the horse, high on the hog.
So they gave us like, if you go to a restaurant, take out and you get a side. It's like one of the smaller containers for a side, right?
A
And
portion cup.
hmm,
It was a portion cup or a ramekin?
a portion cup,
Yeah. Okay,
styrofoam.
gotcha.
So we had soup. We had 3 different types of soup that we had to taste. So I was like, "Dang, this is really good, right?" So I tasted the first one. I downed the second one because that one was good as hell because it was creamy. And then I ate like maybe half of the third. So when I was on my way home, I was like, "Oh, why is my heart racing so much?" It's like, oh my God, my pressure is up. Oh, it's like, what is going on? What is this? So I was talking to Sharon, my auntie. She was like, girl, there is a reason why we mix it with water. You don't eat it just like that. She was like, you know how much sodium is in that? I was like, I do now.
Girl. So they gave you the condensed soup and no water? They ain't watered it down first? Ooh, you better go see your primary care girl. They just gave you high blood
No,
pressure.
I drank about 2 bottles of water while I was in the car. I was like, whoo.
Girl, you might as well look inside of the ramen noodle packet doing that.
I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, now I see why we didn't get this as a kid. Because I'm only seeing it like around Thanksgiving when people add it to, it's an additive. It isn't like
Yeah.
a main something. You add it to the dressing or, whatever. Yeah, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, and me personally, I've never had like cream and chicken soup as just a soup, like how you have how you have like tomato soup or chicken noodle soup or something like that. I have only had cream of chicken soup as an additive, like you said, whether it's in gravy, um, as like a base, like a broth to go with like the chicken and rice or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you have all that, Miss Willis?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, bless your heart.
Yes. Yes. That's yeah. Yes.
Okay. Well, I pray that you are in good health. You seem like you in good health. So
She takes good care of herself.
okay, because I ain't heard nothing.
Yeah. I need to go around there and see you. I was gonna come check on you today, but it was hot. It was hot.
You wanted to ask me about mystery shopping.
I did want to ask you about mystery shopping while we're talking about side hustles and focus groups. Yes. So tell us about the mystery shopping.
Good South food or good old South food? I still ain't found a good soul food restaurant out here.
What?
You heard me. I said what I said.
Pack your bags, turn in your black card, leave Atlanta
You tell me
immediately.
where there's a good, decent soul food restaurant.
I mean, Q time, A1, Busy Bee.
Busy Bee does not count. Nope, 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 nope. You will not sell me on that. No, ma'am.
Okay, what about Gladys Knight ain't open no more.
That was not considered
The
soul
Beautiful.
food.
She had soul food. The Beautiful,
I've
Peach
never been.
Cobbler.
I don't eat peach cobbler, but I've never been
No,
there.
Peach Cobbler is a restaurant. They're actually a soul food restaurant.
In Buckhead?
Maybe in Buckhead, but definitely around the city. They have multiple locations.
Okay. Well,
You
I'm
have
not going.
You're not
I'm not
going.
going to the Beautiful unless somebody from the hood goes with me. I'm not going by myself.
Therein lies the reason why you can't find no soul food in Atlanta. Ain't no good soul food not in the hood. Okay, just gonna tell you that straight up. Like that's part of the seasoning. The building itself, the location, that's part of the seasoning. That's what makes it good. That's why this is it. It's not all that. But nevertheless, moving on. Mystery shopping.
What would you like to know?
What is mystery shopping, and like how do you get the shops?
So mystery shopping is basically an evaluation of the either the typically it's a store. So it's a store or a restaurant, just to ensure that your that your location is servicing the public as they should. How clean is your establishment? Are your employees sticking to the code, or are they following a standard protocol? I do mystery shopping in 3 different ways. I do grocery shops. So I go to the store to evaluate the store. Are the employees friendly? That depends on what part of the town you're on. I could be down the street and employees won't look you in your eye or nothing. And then I also do apartment shopping. So I act like I'm a regular mojo off the street looking for an apartment. And, I have a set of things that I have to evaluate that person on and make sure that they're ticking all of the boxes. And if they're not, then I have to write a report on it. Gotcha. Now, how you sign up for it is, which can be tricky because sometimes I don't know if it's still out there, but a lot of times there were fake ones where they require for you to pay something to get started. But for mystery shopping, you don't have to pay anything to get started. There is a website, I don't know it offhand, but it's like a mystery shopping something something America. Like it's a legit site that you can sign up and you'll get emails that'll, tell you where you can go to get work
Mhm.
and stuff. So speaking of there, at one point I was doing Five Guys. I had to evaluate Five Guys stores. And I
Mhm.
had to fall back because they were paying very, very well. But I had to fall back because I had to buy food. And, Five Guys is not cheap at all. And then, two, I'm having to buy fries. So, speaking
5
of
fries?
huh?
5? You had to buy fries?
I had to buy a meal.
Oh, okay.
And I felt my pressure being affected by having to do all these shops, buying all these dang on fries. It wasn't working in my best interest. So I had to fall back. I hated to see it go because that money was good. So and the money is cool. Just depends on what you do and how often do you do it. It's a cool side hustle. If you need some extra money, because not too long ago, me and Aaron, I was in the market for a car, and Aaron took me to go look at a car, and the person had to pull up my bank history and stuff, and they were seeing well that I got paid, and he was like, "This is for mystery shopping?"
Right. Like, first of all, sir, that's none of your business. That's my OnlyFans page, okay? No, just
He was like, "Oh, I need to do this." So yeah, it takes time because for me, I'm not a traditional 9 to 5 type of worker. You can't pay me to go back to that unless it was one, it pays very well, and two, I got to do something that I really enjoy doing.
right.
So, it definitely gets me out the house, but it is very taxing because when you're driving around town, and then with this Atlanta traffic,
Right. So do you have to do them at specific times? Like, you have to be there at 12:45 or at 2 o'clock or
for the grocery stores, there is like a window.
Mhm.
Usually it's like between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. I think they just moved it back to the regular hours because during COVID, they had it open. It was like a 12-hour period because they knew
Mhm.
people weren't going to the store like that.
Right.
But for the apartment shop, you just call and make an appointment. Like you call into, I'm sure you've had experienced this. You call, hey, do you have an apartment available? Yeah, I have some. Would you like to make an appointment?
Mhm.
So I make the appointment.
And, is the store or the complex, are they the ones, like, are they requesting the mystery shops? Or
The management company. Because, like uh, there's a management company that manages the apartment communities.
got you.
So they hire the company that's going to do the evaluations, and then we go out.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
They're not aware of who it is. The property isn't aware,
Mhm.
but they know that at any point they could be evaluated.
Gotcha.
Lilia's property was on my list,
Oh, really?
and she was a target.
Mm.
And
Interesting.
every last one of her coworkers.
Ooh, that's gonna be interesting. All right. Um, well, for my side hustle, because I don't have no time for no side hustle for real. I just use
You
this.
really don't.
I don't. I don't. Like this is all I got time for is work. This show right here, record with Levy on Sundays, and that's it. Back to work. But I okay, warning, I'm about to put up a pic. Okay. I want you to be like, what? Yeah, I wish I could put it like right over your face. So this is actually a screenshot from a Digit account. And yeah, I normally like, yeah, I'm putting my business out there, but that's money that is taken from me over the past 3 months that I never missed. And I believe in it enough for me to show you this. You know what I'm saying? It has saved that amount over the past 3 to 4 months, maybe 3 months. So yeah, that's almost $1,200 because that was like 590 or something like that per account. And what the way that Digit works is it links to your bank account. It has an algorithm that studies your spending habit and it just takes various amounts, sometimes daily or every other day, and puts it away in this account. And you never know it. Like one day it actually took $100 because I have it, so I'm put it back up here. So I have two accounts here, one for rainy day, one for the future. I'm just weird. I don't want all my money in one place. I like to have it in two accounts. So it took $100 out. I put 50 in one, 50 in the other, and I never missed it. But if you would have told me to manually move that money out of my, I'm like, no, I need it. I need it to be there. But it just takes it out. And you have immediate access to it. I mean, it's like Cash App. You know, if you hit withdraw immediately, there's a fee for it to be active or to be available, excuse me, immediately. Other than that, you know, you just wait 2, 3 days, it'll show up in your account. And you always have access to it. It's $5 a month. I've been using it since 2016. And it will never overdraft your account. And you can even set it to put for overdraft protection. It has 2 levels of spending where it's just a standard spending where standard saving where it'll save like $2 to $5 a day or every time it saves. Or you can make it you can boost it, and then it makes it really aggressive, which is that's because I have it boosted. So that every 2, 3 days or whatever, it's taking the most amount of money that it can without leaving me broke. And it absolutely does not. I swear by that account. Like, if you have a bank account, even if you are already saving, having something that saves money for you effortlessly is the best thing smoking because I'm still manually saving, and then that's also taking money from me. Like, because, I've been in situations where I was what's the word you say, Lovey? Because you said we don't say broke. What's it called?
Limited funds.
I was in a situation of limited funds. Once I got out of that situation, I told myself I would make sure that I never got back into that situation. So I have this Digit account, which is automated. I don't have to do anything to it. And it'll take up to, I think $2,000 total. Like that's how much it'll save. Once it gets to 2,000, you either got to withdraw it or it'll just stop saving for you. And you do have a 0.1% like quarterly savings bonus or something like that. So you do earn a little bit of interest, but y'all know 0.1% is pennies. I think the most it's ever put in that account just off interest is like $1.94 or $2 or something like that. But so I have that going. I have keep the change activated on my checking account, which allows, it just rounds my purchases up to the next dollar and kicks the change over to my savings account. And then I have, then I manually save, and I have another account that that I save in. Like I'm not playing. I'm not.
Hmm. Well, when you know better, you do better.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Because and V and I argue about money, but in the opposite way that couples usually argue about money. Because he want me to spend the money he gives me, and I just put it in savings. Like, okay, I'll just take $1 or $2, put in my pocket or something, and now I'm put the rest in savings bag. We gonna need that one day. We trying to get a house. We're trying to get a wedding. We trying to move. We trying to do this. You want some new shoes? Something like.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Good idea. Good idea.
so that's our side hustles for the day.
I don't have a question of the day.
No question of the day. Oh, you rusty. That's what you get for being gone so long. And you about to be gone again. But alrighty, y'all. Let me give you the black fact, and then I'm gonna get up. We are gonna get up out of here. I forgot it's us this week.
Right. I was about to say,
Yeah.
you just said I'm back. You forgot?
Yeah, I did. So this week's black fact is Ivan van Sirtima, who was born January 26, 1935 to May 25th, 2009. He was a Guyanese-born literary critic, linguist, and anthropologist. associate professor of Africana Studies at Rutgers University in New Jersey. In 1976, he published the book They Came Before Columbus that features his arguments for an African origin of Mesoamerican culture in the Western Hemisphere. He achieved widespread attention within the African American community for his claims of prehistoric African contact and diffusion of culture in Central and South America. In 1983, he authored The Lost Sciences of Africa, an overview that discusses early African advances in metallurgy, astronomy, mathematics, architecture, engineering, agriculture, navigation, medicine, and writing. That is your Black fact for the week. Once again, that is Ivan van Sirtima.
All right, Mr. Sirtima.
Yes. Well, it has been real. It has been fun, and it has been real fun. Thank you for joining us and gracing us with your presence. I guess we'll get a quarterly appearance from you now that the world is open and you are a social butterfly just fluttering about.
The summer is winding down, ma'am.
Girl,
Cut it
this
out.
is Georgia. The summer ain't finna wind down till December.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to be out all like that either. Did we not just talk about lambda, lambda, lambda being out there? I'm not trying to be out there with everybody.
I mean, I hear you, but I know you.
Where am I generally? If I'm not working, where am I?
Eating. Thank you for watching, Brian. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you, Miss Willis, for catching us. I'll see you soon.
If it ain't too hot.
No. Yeah. Oh, that's how we gonna do? That's how we gonna do?
You said it yourself.
Nevertheless. So we'll see you in a couple weeks then. Okay, bye. All right, rest of y'all have a great week. Stay safe. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to the Facebook family for tuning in as well. We were dual streaming to YouTube and Facebook. Facebook people, if y'all ain't subscribed to this YouTube channel, come on over here. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Thank you, YouTubers. Please make sure that you are subscribed, and we will see you again. I'll see you next week. Love it. She'll come back around when she got time for us. You know.
You done?
She highfalutin now.
What now?
Oh yeah, you're right. You've been for highfalutin. The world just opened back up for you. All right. But y'all stay safe. Have a great week. Thanks. Love you.
Wear
See
your
you
mask.
later. Above your nose. We're out.